with George from Monrovia Growers, and a common issue that's coming up a lot with our customers is these large homes that they put on these small lots here in Utah. They don't want the plants that we plant to overgrow their space too quickly. So that's why I have you here to solve my dilemma.
Well, that's an excellent question, and Monrovia searches the world over, Zach, to find great new dwarf space-saving plants, and we can solve your dilemma.
What are some of the ones you have here today?
So this collection right here is geared towards shade. For example, we have the evergreen look, which is a Buxus green velvet. It's kind of gets about 3 foot tall, mounding, and also green mountain. And then this is a dwarf yew, which again would be for the evergreen look.
Those are both evergreens, right?
They are, yep, absolutely.
What do you have down here?
This is a beautiful hydrangea. It blooms a gorgeous lime green color. And if you could imagine that in color in summer, and then maybe backdrop it with this gorgeous clematis, it'd be really spectacular.
That'd be beautiful. This is a new one to me. I've never seen this one before. What is this one?
This is Star Showers Boston Ivy. It was actually found in Boston, Massachusetts, and really brightens up a shady spot if you allow it to climb.
So what happens if we have a full sun exposure? What do you have to show us on that?
We have a lot of options. If you want to just follow me, Zach, I can show you.
Let's go look at it.
Zach, look at these beautiful, wonderful, sun-loving, space-saving plants.
And this is what we usually deal with in our application. We have a hot sun in the summertime that we all have to deal with. So these are some great varieties that we can choose from. Give me some of your favorites.
Absolutely. You have colorful shrubs, you have vines, you have plants with texture. One of my favorites is this brand new introduction. It's called Rubus Raspberry Shortcake, and it's dwarf. Only gets about 2 to 3 foot tall by the same spread. It's thornless, it doesn't sucker, and it produces raspberries.
Are they good raspberries? Do they taste good?
Absolutely. Its parentage comes from Bear Lake up in Utah.
Incredible.
Look at this plant. Wonderful texture. It's called Puckered Up. It's a dwarf red twig dogwood. Again, brand new introduction. And I really love this unique specimen. This is very artistic in nature. This is a weeping blue atlas cedar, and with that serpentine form, just spectacular.
So between the sun-loving and the shade-loving plants, these are at least 50 options that we have to be able to solve our problem of being in those small spaces.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you coming and showing those to me. I've learned a lot, and I'm going to start using these plants in our applications. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.
Brent, I love coming down here to your nursery. I know there's thousands of shrubs and trees that we have to pick from, and a lot of times if I send customers down here, they get overwhelmed. They don't know what to look from. So I've asked you to kind of take 3 or 4 of our favorites out.
Sure.
and talk about those and tell us, why they're so easy to grow here.
Yeah, you bet. This is forest pansy red bud. Gives great contrast in the landscape. It's a medium-sized tree. It's 15, 20, 25 foot tall. All these trees adapt well to our climate here in Utah.
And they do well to the soil. So I have this one at my house.
Okay.
Personally, I have that plant there. I love it. The tricolor beech does
one of my
really
favorite
well.
also. Yep.
I do see it sometimes get a little crispy in August. It gets a little dried out just because our dry air.
Right.
What do we have here? An oak?
That's a columnar English oak. Great for narrow spaces. Very adapted again to our climate here in Utah.
One thing I think you taught me about those is they lose their leaves in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
They hold them all year long during the winter,
They
and
do.
It's odd, and then all of a sudden in the spring they fall off.
They do.
Yeah.
They do when they get their new leaves in the spring.
And this is another one that I really like.
Crimson Century Maple. It's another narrow one, and it is a relatively small tree, so it fits well in small spaces in the landscape and well adapted to our smaller landscapes that are very popular here in Utah.
So if people want to come down and talk to you guys about what's good and what's not, they can always see the orange shirt, right?
There you go.
They
You
can't
got
miss
it.
them. Well, thanks for taking your time to show us these trees, and we'll see you around.
Okay, super.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Nancy, every day we speak with people that are trying to educate themselves on how to be water-wise here in Utah, how it's so hot and dry. We want to use plants that use less water. Give us some of those ideas or those showers that we can use instead of just a carpet of sod.
Okay. I think it's important to use water-wise plants because we are trying to save water. Just xeriscaping your park strip will save you over 500 gallons of water a year.
Because they always talk about the natural snowfall, that we're either higher or lower than the natural snowfall, but as our population grows, we're eventually going to run out of water if we don't conserve each one of us in our landscapes.
Yeah.
So give us some options, some ideas what you have here.
Xeriscaping doesn't just have to be gravel and cactus. This is an example of a beautiful spring bloomer. It's a Pinstamon, elfin pink, and it will just give you blooms for about a month. And then moving out of that, you would move into this Agastache. And this is also called hummingbird mint because hummingbirds really love this blossom, and this will start blooming early to midsummer and give you blooms just all summer long. Really wonderful. This one is more of a late summer bloomer. It's called Caryopteris.
And I've used this one a lot. I really like that. It does really well here.
And this one, it's just beautiful. Another thing to note is pollinators really love all of these water-wise plants. So they're just really good for...
That's good for your gardens and fruit trees and stuff like that.
We need them.
You've got things pollinating them.
Right. Another great example is this Gara. This one's looking a little spindly because it needs to be in the ground, but it forms a really beautiful mound, and these flowers will just bloom all summer long, and they are just covered with butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds all
Do you have to do a lot of maintenance on these?
No, the nice thing with water-wise plants is they kind of like to be left alone. I mean, I think late winter you can cut them off about 6 inches and they'll just come back looking beautiful.
So it's a good option for people that may not have the best green thumb. They can still have a beautiful yard and not have to do much maintenance on them.
They're very low maintenance and just give you beautiful blooms all summer.
Well, thank you. I always tell my customers to come down to the nursery if they have any questions and talk to people like Nancy, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions in the future about landscaping, about plants, come down and see the experts here at Tri-City Nursery in Kaysville.